Good afternoon, and welcome to this rather delayed posting on Substack. I normally like to try and get at least one post out a week, but things are just spiraling out of not control, but I need to concentrate on a couple of projects. The main one being Mitchell's the rewrite. I've been told that I need to get my very big Apple Pages document at some 140,000 words into separate chapters as a file in each chapter and get it away from Apple Pages and put it into Word. A, it's hard work. B, Word is hard work. And C, it's just taking a long time. And as I read through each chapter, which is probably the good thing, I'm having to read through it and correct and put some ideas together that didn't sort of work in the original. And when I've reread it through, I think, oh no, let's change that and do this. And it's taking time. And it'll be all the better for it, I'm sure, but it's just taking time. So today's post is looking at materials. And I've decided to try and put together two separate chapters on materials. One, I'm trying to set the scene because materials is not just what you're using today. We need to look at the way the materials work, and you've got to go back through time for that. So how historic materials have worked, how they survived a century, how modern day materials have sort of evolved from them and the reasons why it's important. And then how these materials are now advancing towards, well, we're halfway through. Now we're a quarter of the way through the 21st century. But the buildings we are building now and designing now will eventually go into the 22nd century. I've no doubt about that whatsoever. But technology is going to allow those buildings to evolve, and architecture is going to evolve, and the detailing and the materials, and above all, those materials are going to have to survive some pretty horrific weather and geological upsets that our climate change is going to bring upon us. I have no doubts about that whatsoever. So what I've been trying to do is to rewrite this section as the introduction, the build up to the way materials have evolved over the years. I've kept it down to chapter 5 because I want to get it in now while the students or the practitioners are now looking at it. And then the other things will flow into that quite nicely. And then in chapter 18, I'm going to go full spell into materials. And each one of the main categories I'm going to go through and evolve those materials and how they work. I started to look at glass, but then I was asked to put the chapters together and I thought I'll leave that for a while. But glass is going to be the classic, how glass has evolved, where it's now placed, but also where it's going. And I have some huge ideas on that. So there it is. Enjoy this little chapter. It's not quite finished, obviously, but it is an idea that I thought I would put down and put out there so you can see how I think things should and will evolve. Have a great day. It's going to, as they say in the gods, it's going to rain just a little bit. Now, my app is telling me at 1 o'clock. It could actually be 1 o'clock, but at the moment it don't look as though it's going to do anything. But hey ho, the wind's picking up, and we might see rain for the rest of the afternoon. I certainly put my dog out for a walk this morning and gave him a good long walk, well, as long as I'm allowed to. He's only a puppy still, and so the weather, it's going to change. Toodaloo.